The sun beat down on the sleepy town of Millwood, casting long shadows across the empty streets. It was a typical summer afternoon, the kind where time seemed to slow down and the world was at peace. But in the quiet corners of the town, an unseen terror was about to awaken. At Millwood High School, the final bell had just rung, releasing students into the warm embrace of summer freedom. Laughter echoed through the hallways as students made plans for vacations, parties, and lazy days by the pool. Among them was a group of friends: Sarah, Emily, Jake, and Mike. Sarah, the group's de facto leader, was a bright and ambitious girl with a passion for science. Emily, her best friend, was a free spirit, an artist with a wild imagination and a heart of gold. Jake was the class clown, always ready with a joke or a prank, but beneath his playful exterior lay a loyal friend. Mike, the quiet observer, was a tech whiz, always tinkering with gadgets and gizmos, a valuable asset to the group. As they walked out of the school gates, the friends couldn't shake the feeling of unease that hung in the air. The town seemed unusually quiet, the streets deserted. "Something's not right," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah, it's like the whole town vanished," Emily added, her eyes scanning the empty streets. "Maybe it's just a quiet day." Jake tried to joke, but his laughter sounded forced. "I don't know," Mike said, his voice unusually serious. "I heard some strange news reports on the radio this morning, something about a virus outbreak." Their conversation was cut short by a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the streets. A figure stumbled out of an alleyway, its clothes torn and bloodied, its eyes vacant and lifeless. It lunged at a passerby, sinking its teeth into their flesh. The friends watched in horror as the scene unfolded before them, the gruesome scene playing out in the harsh sunlight. "What is that thing?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know, but we need to get out of here," Sarah said, her eyes wide with fear. They turned and ran, their footsteps echoing through the deserted streets until they reached Sarah's house. They burst through the front door, slamming it shut behind them. Sarah's parents were in the living room, watching the news on TV. The images on the screen were horrifying, showing scenes of chaos and violence from all over the world. The virus outbreak was real. "What's going on?" Sarah's mother asked, her voice filled with worry. "It's the virus, Mom," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "It's turning people into monsters." The friends huddled together, watching the news reports in disbelief. "We need to do something," Sarah said, her voice filled with determination. "We can't just sit here and wait for it to come to us." "What can we do?" Emily asked, her eyes filled with fear. "We need to find out what's going on," Sarah said. "But how?" Jake asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know," Sarah admitted, "but we'll figure it out. We always do." The friends looked at each other, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. But beneath the fear, a spark of hope flickered. They decided to stay at Sarah's house for the night, hoping that the situation would improve by morning. But as the sun set and darkness enveloped the town, the screams and moans of the infected grew louder, closer. The nightmare was just beginning. The next morning, the friends woke to a world transformed. The town was no longer recognizable. The streets were filled with the undead, their numbers growing with each passing hour. The infected, or zombies as they had come to be known, were relentless. Sarah's house was no longer a safe haven. The zombies had surrounded the house, their grotesque figures pressing against the windows, their moans a constant reminder of the danger they posed. "We need to get out of here," Sarah said, her voice filled with urgency.